Good morning, everybody. Today I'm going to do a tutorial on how to crochet up this version of Claire's cowl from the inspired by the Outlander series on Stars. This is the finished product, which I put the pattern up on my blog and on Ravelry. For people who are beginners or anybody who might be interested, I'm just going to do a tutorial on it, assuming that you know some of the basics of crochet. I'll put some links as well for particular items of interest if you're really just starting off, with links for how to chain, how to do a foundation double crochet if you want to do that instead of a chain. I think that's it. Anyway, so I'll be showing you how to do this. And so grab your hook and your yarn and your pocket jamie if you have one, and meet me back here. Okay. So for the cowl, you're going to need some super bulky yarn, and today I have the Loops and Threads Cozy Wool. I picked this up at Michael's. I have 2 skeins of it, 90 yards each. That should be plenty. Originally I did the cowl with a Lion brand, Woolies, Thick and Quick, and you get more yardage on these skeins, but 2 skeins of this is sufficient. For a hook, we need a largish hook. It's 15 to 16 millimeter. This one isn't marked. I don't know if it's a P or a Q, but I had to measure it out, and it's 15 to 16 millimeter. Okay, so what we'll do is grab our yarn and our hook, and there's 2 ways of starting. I'll show both ways. If you want to skip forward right to the pattern, the body of the pattern, just go right ahead. If you want to sit through this, I'm going to first do this with a chain, which is the traditional way of starting off crochet, and then I'll also be doing showing how to do the foundation double crochet, which involves working both the chain and your first row of stitches at the same time, which is pretty cool. But I'll show you this first. We'll do our slip knot, and again, fast forward if you don't want to see this bit. I'm also going to put links in the description for ways for if you're a true beginner and you really need this to be shown at a slower rate. I'll put some links for other people's videos on YouTube showing how to do that, as well as the foundation double crochet. For this pattern, we're going to chain 34, and I'm going to chain loosely. 1, 2. Oh, where's our pocket chain? 3. That's 30, 31, 32, and 34. Okay. Now, since this is worked in the round as a tube, we're going to join this last stitch to the first stitch, or chain, I should say. Last chain to the first chain, and you just want to be careful that your work isn't getting twisted when you do this. Now, this is kind of long, so I don't know if it's going to fall out of shot, but excuse me, Jamie. I'm just going to kind of fold this and work it just so I'm sure that it's not twisted, because it does look a bit wonky. Okay, so now it's not twisted. Now I'm going to just slip stitch to join. I'm going into the very first chain. There's our tail, get that out of the way. And just pull through that one and pull through the one that was on the hook. Okay? I've got to double check. Does that look twisted? No, that's not twisted. Okay. Now, since we did a chain to start, we're going to be doing, the first round is all double crochet. So we're just going to chain 2 just to make up for the height and also to serve as your first double crochet. And I don't know if you can hear that, but that's my blue jay friend. I've got a bunch of them that come around and visit. Okay. So those 2 chains will serve as our first double crochet, and now what we do is we just double crochet in every chain around. Don't skip any chains. So double crochet, yarn over to do a double crochet, and there we go. Yarn over. Again, I'm assuming you know how to double crochet. If you don't, I'll put in a link for that as well. There's a gazillion videos of nice people putting up how-tos. I'm sure you could find. On your own. But I'll put in a link anyway for ones that I like the most, I guess. Feel free to fast forward. I like this color. It's kind of a blue-gray, kind of a weathered, kind of seaside blue-gray. It is called, the color is called Stone. Yeah. The color of the first cowl in the Lion brand, that color was barley. Right? Barley? Yeah, barley. And then the nice color. Nice and tweedy, like that tweed look. I can be such a tight crocheter and a tight knitter, and I've really been working on that. Because when you cast on or chain or whatever tightly, it just makes your work arc in the most unpleasant way. It's very frustrating, so I've been working on that. I did some slip stitch crochet, and that's a great way to practice how to loosen up your crochet style, if that's what you're needing, because with slip stitch crochet, guys, you can't even, like, you just cannot crochet too loosely. It's impossible with slip stitch crochet. Like if you slip stitch crochet at a normal tension, it's impossible to work. It has to be loose. I made a mistake. I'm pulling from the outside of the ball. It's much easier if you pull from the center and it doesn't flop all over the place, but I screwed up. I hope you can see this. Keep checking and make sure that we're in focus and I'm not off camera. I think we're almost there. You know what? Give me 1 second. Let me just put this down. Oh, I am pulling from the center. Oh, it's because I had one. Okay, never mind. Alright, we're good. Alright, let's see. I think this might be the last one. We'll double check. Do a count. See, I want to go into that one, but I'm thinking, yeah, actually that must be. You can tell I'm no true aficionado here. I'm still learning stuff too. No, I don't think I go into that one. Hold on. We'll find out. We'll do a count. I've crocheted in the round before, but not as a tube. For some reason, it's taken me a bit to really learn. Alright, we're going to do a count. I know I'm not completely on camera here, but this was our chain. The chain 2, which counts as a double crochet. And here's another one, and another. Okay, so I'm just going to count and make sure we got 34 on here. In fact, I'm just going to pull that a little bit so it doesn't pull out, and then I can move this around a little bit better. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, 32, 34. Ha! I was right. I don't go into that last one. See, I was debating. That's our slip stitch that we did to join it, because you can see here's our first chain right here. You can tell because of that funny little slip knot bump. Okay, so now I'm going to say that normally you would join in the top chain of your double to make one complete round, and then you would chain a couple to raise yourself up to do the second round, but we don't do that. We're just going to start doing our post stitches which involve, they're all going to be double crochet. So you would yarn over as usual. And we're going to go right into our first, well, the chain, which is our first double crochet. We're going to go right there from back to front. And by the way, you're noticing that when I do this yarn over, I'm kind of holding it on there with my thumb just to make sure it doesn't slide off the hook. It doesn't seem to be such a big deal if you're working with a smaller needle for some reason, but with this big hook it tends to want to just kind of fly right off, especially when you're doing the back post stitches. Okay, this is a front post stitch. We start with the front post stitch. And like so. That's our first front post stitch. Doesn't look like much right now, does it? Now we're going to do a back post stitch. Oh, by the way, there's a great free class on Craftsy. If you're not already on Craftsy, I highly recommend it. Plus, well, you would have to register, I think, to see even the free classes. There are many of them. But there's a free class running, a crochet class by Drew Amborski. It's not a beginner's crochet, but it does have some good stuff in there for anybody, I think. He's the crochet dude. Anyway, check it out. He has a bit on his class about post stitches, which is what we're doing. So we're going to yarn over again, and we're going to do our back posts, our first back post crochet. So what you do is you kind of turn your work so you can see the back side of it, and you're going to go in through this space right here from back to front, and then you're going to go back through the next space. So I'm just going to get my yarn over out of the way for a minute. So you get that double crochet that we made on the first row sitting on your needle like that. So you take that yarn over, and just like a regular double crochet, you work it. Okay, it doesn't look like much at the start. It's just kind of lumpy and bumpy, and it's nice yarn. It's squishy. Okay, yarn over, and that's the repeat. You do a front post double crochet, you do a back post double crochet. You got 34 stitches. You just keep going around and around and around. It's awesome. Front post double crochet. Don't be tight with this, otherwise you're going to get kind of puckering and stuff. So just relax and give yourself enough yarn so that it's not pulling up, because you're going down. Every time you do a post stitch, you're going down into the row below you. So you need to give yourself, you know, be relaxed so you get enough tension. So you get enough yarn so it's not tight and puckering up on you. Okay, so we did a front post, and now we're going to do a back post again. Whoops, so I already did my yarn over, excuse me. Kind of hold it on there so it doesn't slip off, and you want to make sure that your yarn is behind your hook. Your working yarn is behind your hook when you do this. So you'll get used to this after a while. You either turn your work to look for that stitch and then you come up through, or when you get used to it, you can just keep your work facing you and you bring this guy through the hole and then back through the next hole. Pull your yarn through. Oops, I just snagged that. And then finish your double crochet. Yarn over. That was our back post. Do our front post. Back post. have to pull from the ball frequently because this is just, you know, it just goes fast. You're on a bigger hook, you're doing crochet. Crochet uses up the yarn faster than knitting. So it's like constantly pulling from the ball. And now in the back, just kind of, just to show you, you can see the holes right there? Going right in there. You know what, it's getting darker outside, I'm sorry, the exposure's probably getting a bit dark now. But just to clarify, with that hole that you're going through, you've got the chain on top, you know, the V, and then you get this strand underneath it. You don't want to go through here. You don't want to go through this right here. You want to go through this down here. So you're going underneath these 3 little strands, just to clarify that. Okay, yarn over. Now we just did a front post because it's, you can tell that's our front post right there. So now we're going to do a back post. Double crochet. Front post. Back post. Kind of hold it on the needle. Make sure your working yarn's behind your hook. Pull through. Front post. I'm getting tangled here. Hold on. Back post. Front post. Back post. Front post. Back post. And now it's getting lighter outside. Crazy weather lately. Front post. And back post. Front post. Ah, nice breeze. Back posts are a little bit trickier until you get the hang of it. Can't see where you're going. Don't be afraid to pull apart your work. Look for that hole. It really sticks out because these just kind of go up. And actually, this, you'll notice that this first row, the holes are a little bit easier to see than when we go, well, round. until we go to our next round. Then it's a little bit harder, but it's still, you'll get an eye for it, just like anything else with crocheting and knitting. You develop an eye as you go. Front. Back. Front. And back. Front. And back. Make sure that yarn's behind your hook when you go through. Now over. Front. And back. Back, come through, and then go back through the next hole, and then work a double crochet. Well, we're coming up to the end of our round. We'll do a double check on our stitch count. Pull some more yarn here. Yarn over. What did we just do? We just did a back. Now we do a front. You started with a front, so you should end with a back. Just as kind of just to check yourself on every round. But after you get an eye for it, you'll know if you made a mistake or not anyway. Okay, so we just did a front, and now we're going to do a back again.